Hello everyone, welcome back to ANI201. In this video I'm going to go over the basic concept of parenting. Okay, so what is parenting? Parenting is when one object will control another's movement, rotation, and position. So just to show this off, I'm going to just make a ellipse tool. I'm just going to click and drag, and I've got myself a circle. Now, I can rotate this by hitting the R button and rotate it. And as you can see, it's not necessarily rotating in a complete, normal circle. It's kind of rotating lopsided. And that's because this little point right here, the anchor point, is not in the center. If I move my anchor point over to outside of this, then when I rotate this again, it'll now rotate around like this. So, just for the sake of argument, I'm going to move my anchor point as close to the center as I can get. Once again, A is for anchor point, R is for rotation, and I'm going to say that's good enough. And I'm just going to name this shape layer. I'm sorry, I'm going to right-click to rename it. I'm going to rename it as, I don't know, flower center. Okay, so now what I'm just going to do is I'm going to make another bunch of ellipse tools, and I'm just going to make, I'll say that, and I'll anchor point that so that I now have that right there. And that's going to be one of my petals. So I'll just right click and rename this petal 1. And I'll just copy, paste, 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 paste. There we go. I've generally got, 10 different petals here for my flower. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just rotate these guys out a little bit. So I'll rotate this one, maybe have it go right about there. Rotate this one, have it go 30. Since I have that one as 15, oops, let me go negative 30 since I was going in that direction. And rotation, I'll say this is negative 45. Rotation, negative 60. This guy will be rotation. Actually, let me make this a bit more. What's the rotation on this guy? Rotation is nothing. Let's do this. Let's do this one negative 30. So this guy, negative 60. So this guy, negative 90. I'll make it less petals here just so I can showcase the point. Rotation, this is negative 120, if I can actually do math in my head. This guy is going to be rotation, negative 150. This guy is negative 180. Rotation. This guy is negative 210. Rotation. This guy is negative 240. Rotation. Negative 270. And I need to have a couple more. So rotation, negative 300, rotation, negative 330, and a negative 360 would just put me right back where I started. So there we go. I have myself, in essence, I have somehow missed something because that's not lining up with that. 230. Yeah, I should have another one going right here. Where did this guy go? Who did I miss? $10, 270, negative, oh, because I did a positive 300. Negative 300. That's why. There we go. And now I've got myself essentially a starburst pattern of something. So let me just go and fit this back to... So now, I'm just going to retract all these guys so that I don't see all this information taking up all my screen. Now, there's two ways I can wind up doing this. I can either use this little like spiral tool, and I can just click and drag to the layer I want to be parented. So that would mean that now this petal 11 is now parented to the flower center. So if I move the flower center, say like with position, you'll notice that that one petal is moving with the flower. Now, I can do that, or I can click a drop-down menu, and I can go and select whatever it is I want to parent it to. So, you cannot have a situation where, like, say, petal 11 is currently parented to flower center. I can't then go and drag petal flower center to petal 11. It won't let me. It won't let me create an infinite loop. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all of these, make it easy, and go to flower center. Now, if you don't have this parent and link option, always right-click up at the top bar right over here, go to columns, and just make sure you have parents and links selected. So now that I have everything centered to my flower, what I can do is I can just simply move, say, the scale of my flower, and the entire flower will scale with it, every single object. I can move the rotation, and every single object moves in the rotation. I can even do some pretty fancy stuff. So if I were to deselect all of these, and I instead, make this guy petal 1 to flower center, but then I make this guy, go to petal 1, and this guy go to petal 2. If I were to do something like this, I could do some pretty interesting things where, once I do this all together here, just getting everything in the one right below it. So if I were to, let me just hit rotation here, and let's just say you guys are going to start off at 0, and there we go. So they all start off at 0, and I'll all keyframe them. And then, I don't know, I'll say 10 seconds out, I will move them 30 degrees. I will now have this animation where it unfans, because the way I have this set up in such a way, this guy has moved 6.5 degrees. But because this layer is currently parented to this one, or I guess I should say is the child object of this one, it has also moved 6.5 degrees on its by following its parent, and then also moved 6.5 degrees on its own. And then this one moved 6.5 degrees because it was parented to petal 2, and then it also moved 6.5 degrees because it was on its own as well. So by doing that, I make this unfanning motion where it just goes and does that. And that's just how something like this could sort of work. Now, obviously, I've got these petals currently in front of everything, so I could just, simply move my flower center up top, so that now it has a, if I just unclick this, if I just unclick it, there we go. Now I'll see the petals growing out like that with the bulb in the center. Matter of fact, let me change the fill of that bulb. There we go, that looks a bit more like a flower now. And I can do something simply as that, just with a very simple one rotation movement applied to everything, and just simply parenting. And that's just the sort of things that we can do with parenting objects. So hopefully, if anyone had a confusion about parenting, this little tutorial helped you out a little bit. I'll be making another one about three-dimensional space that might take a little bit longer, but then I'll go in and do some other ones as well throughout the week. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me, and I'll make a video about the subject you're having a question about. So thank you very much. See you all in a few days. Bye-bye.